If you've got one of my magnetic dovetail guides, you'll be able to cut dovetails which are straight at the same angle and dead square. You'll also be able to similarly cut the pins as well. If you've got one of my dovetail alignment boards, or you've made one for yourself, then you'll be able to take a pin board, secure that, and then mark out the pins. And when that's done, you can then saw against the lines. Now, one of the things a fair amount of people have difficulty with here is knowing exactly where to place the saw in order to make sure that the joint is assembled correctly. And I'd like to show you a little technique which might help make that easier. I have here a Kerf-Starter, which is made by Glen-Drake tools, and instead of making a knife line with a knife, it actually takes out a kerf, and the kerf you can then drop your saw into. But in order to position this in exactly the right place, we need to create an offset, and this is easily done with the board. So here I have an offset piece which is 1/2 mil or 0.02 of an inch thick. And what that does is that moves the dovetail across by the thickness of the Kerf-Starter and the thickness of the saw, so that the cut is positioned totally in the waste. And I'll show you how it works. So the offset is put against the fence for these cuts. So that is slid up against there, and then the cuts are made that's one side, and then we can take out the shim there and use the shim on this side of the cut, and that just moves it over by the same amount. And there we can see there's the divots that have been cut out for the kerf of the saw to fit in. So we can then take our dovetail guide. We used it that way around for the tails and this way around for the pins. So we can just attach the saw to the guide, and then edge that up so that the saw is actually dropping into the divot that's been created. So again, attach the saw, move it along until it's just in that groove. And then we can turn that. Again, use the guide to come in from the other side. Edge it up until it's where you want it. So there you have all the cuts, and they're in exactly the position you need them to be, so that when you assemble the joint, everything goes together cleanly. And here's one that I did earlier. Help if I got it the right way round. And you can see there a nice, clean, tight fit, but not one that's going to split the wood, and no gaps either. So an extremely useful technique. The guides I sell, the dovetail alignment boards you can make yourself, and you can see one of my other videos for how to do that. And the Kerf-Starter is available from Glen-Drake Tools, a very powerful technique for close fitting dovetails.